Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm back with the third volume of mistakes that men make. And as we said in the first two, in the first one, I talked about how and why we choose the women that we choose. And then the second one, I talked about why we can't leave them, why we get caught up into their nonsense and we don't look for patterns. Now here in the third one, I want to talk to you about a few things that we should look for that will help us to determine where we want to go in this situation. And with this in mind, you should be able to look at it and say, I'm not going to tolerate this, I'm walking away, I'm finished. And don't stand around and be treated like a child, okay? Now before we get into that, don't forget, I told you about my trip to Thailand in the second video I had. I'm still preparing for that. I got a few things I have to do. And also don't forget, whatever I cannot put on YouTube, I'm going to put on the social media site for all the members. So please, please, please sign up to become a member. Share some of your experiences so somebody can learn from it or you can learn from them and we can all help each other grow, okay? So here we are in the third one. And I want to talk about some things we should look for that could help us kind of look at the patterns that we need to look at, because everybody leaves a pattern in their behavior, and their behavior tells you basically what they think about you, okay? And if you see these based on, and like I say, go back to the second one, if you know what you want, okay, if you are someone that's looking for something serious and somebody's falling into this list I'm about to go over, then you know to walk away from that. Don't sell yourself short. If you're just there to have fun, to play, then don't worry about it, okay? But please understand, your wallet, your financial future is at jeopardy. So let's get into this, and I hope you follow on and listen to the end. Like, subscribe, and share with someone that you may feel that might benefit from this, because the things I'm going over with you guys, it comes from over 20 years of experience in and out of the Philippines. Okay, I think I said in one of my other videos, my shortest trip was 2 days, my longest was over 4 or 5 months. And I'm doing this every 3 to 4 months. I'm in and out, and I've experienced this, and I want to share all this stuff with you guys. So the stuff I'm sharing with you is either from my experience or from what I've seen or heard from other people. And I hate seeing this happen to you guys. Okay, so the first one here, let's take a look at this. They're going to come to you with the "can you help me?" Okay, and it's going to go something like this. Can you help me with? Okay, and you got to fill in the blank. Can you help me with food? Can you help me with rent? Can you help me with my child is sick? Can you help me with my mom or dad needs some medication? I mean, the list goes on and on. Once you start with that helping thing, it will never stop. Okay? It starts off helping with one thing and it just keeps going on, and every time they need some help with something, instead of doing something to better their situation, they come back to you, because you know what? A calf is going to go to the tit that gives the most milk, and that's what happens. They're going to come back to you with the "can you help me?" and then the next week, "can you help me?" The next week, "can you help me?" And it never stops. So that's a pattern you should look for, because your financial future is at jeopardy, and this helping thing is never, never going to stop. So keep that in mind. Now, the second one here is somebody in the family died, which kind of goes back to the first one with the help, but they're going to say, my fill in the blank, mother, father, cousin, brother, however, baby, died. This is a way of indirectly asking for help. They won't come out and say, will you help me because we got this problem, somebody died. What they're going to say is, somebody died, and they're looking for you to come back and say, I'm going to help, as in like voluntarily help. Okay, and this is their way of walking into it. The reason they do that is because when they stop talking to you and you bring it up to them that you helped them, they can throw back in your face, I didn't ask you for that. And truth be told, they didn't ask you for it. However, they didn't ask you directly, they asked you indirectly. And this is the way for them to justify you not being able to complain about it. So that's the thing. My whoever died, can you help me? Back to number one. And then when you complain, when they stop talking to you, I didn't ask you for that. So be careful with the indirect questions, okay? Because that's going to lead you down a rabbit hole of you wanting to say something and she's going to come back, I didn't ask you for that, okay? So keep that in mind. Now the third one here is, it doesn't happen too often, but it still happens. They won't video chat, okay? They won't video chat because they're going to give you the thing about my camera is not right, but they'll send you some photos and you don't know how old these photos are. It may be them, it may be from some stranger, some photos they got from somewhere else. So if they're not communicating with you and video call with you, then that's a definite red flag that this person may not be who she or he say that they are. And you got to keep that in mind. So that one should be kind of self-explanatory, because if I can't talk to someone, then I'm not going to just keep sitting here sending messages over and over, and you are not going to ask me for help. I mean, that's just point blank. Okay? I've never met you. I've never seen you in person. You won't come online. I can't see you. Why are we doing this then? Let's cut through the chase. You don't want a video chat? Okay, fine. I'll let you go. Let me be. I'll let you be. Simple as that. Move on, okay? So be careful of the no video chatting. Now this next one here is something that is kind of a new one in a way, but not, kind of 50-50. They'll tell you that their phone is broken. You see, back in the day, before technology really got good, they would give you this, there's no connection. But they can't use that excuse anymore because the cell service has gotten so well that there's connection everywhere. So now they go to my phone is broken or I don't have load. Now when you start hearing those two, that's a red flag that she's covering up something because she's over with someone else getting the money she needs to pay for whatever else that she needs. Okay? Whether it's her food, clothes, rent, shelter, however, but that's what she's been doing. So therefore, I don't have load, which justifies why she can't contact you. My phone is broke, which justifies why I can't contact you. And I cannot video call. You see, those two kind of go hand in hand. So, but now that cell service is so much better, they have to go with the broken phone. That gives them a few days to go off and do whatever they need, and they get back to you whenever they're finished. So be careful of the broken phone thing. I call it a scam. So your phone, I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, I just cannot buy that excuse anymore, okay? But that's what they do. So that's something to look out for. Now, the broken phone is debatable. If you want to accept it, that's good. I don't accept the broken phone thing. That's just the bottom line. This next one I don't really hear too often, but I have heard some guys say it. A lot of times they want you to send money because they want something to wear, okay? Maybe there's some event that they're going to go to, and it's really not true that they want to go to the event, but they tell you they got an event to go to so you can send money. And when you send money, they take it and do something else with. But they got some pictures from a few months ago where they went somewhere and they send you the photos showing you that, hey, I got this new outfit. But you never see any receipts where they spent the money. They always complain that for some reason they don't have the receipt. And this is something, I haven't experienced that one, but I've heard about it. So that's just a way to get some money, but they'll send you pictures, oh, I bought this, but it's something that they've already had that somebody else done bought from them, because they using that thing on multiple guys. Okay, they may tell several guys, I need something to wear. And then they've already bought it a long time ago, but now they're showing it to you, and you are thinking that it's new. Okay? This next one here, number 6, is a kind of a unique one. And I've yet to understand why would they do this. However, I guess it doesn't make sense. I understand it, but I don't understand, so it really doesn't make sense. If they have a job, they'll tell you that they want to stop working. Now let's stop and think about that for a second. If in theory you need some money and you have a job to get the money that you need, why would you want to stop working? Why stop working so you can ask someone to give you some money? And see, that's what they do. They'll tell you, I want to stop working. And that's a cue for you to be Captain Save-A-Hole and say, sure, stop working, I'll support you. And that's where you're digging yourself in a hole, because here's the thing, guys. When you're funding someone, you can never give them enough money. It's always going to be not enough, as they say. You can be giving them more than they make at their job, and they still going to say it's not enough. Nothing's ever enough when it comes to them. So when they start talking about, I want to stop working, my comeback is, well, what are you going to do to support you and your family? You say you got to help your family, but if you start working, how are you going to do it? I had one girl look at me and point blank and said, you're going to do it. No. And I plain and simple said, no, I'm not. And she walks away. Simple as that. She said, I'm going to do it. I said, no, I'm not. She gets up and walks away. Because I'm not going to support her family when she has a job, when she can support her family. I'm not playing that game. So be careful with that one, because that's a way of putting all the responsibility in your lap and taking the responsibility off their siblings. The siblings get to walk away scot-free, and you're around here working every day, day in and day out, to make extra money so you can give it away. No. If I'm going to give something away, I'm going to have some in the yard to show why I gave it away. Okay? So be careful of the I want to stop working thing. Now, this one here is a biggie. Number 7 is a biggie. And I hate to say it, but to me, it loops in with the previous 6. Let's say you get in a relationship and it goes on for a while. You meet her, you become intimate, and then a month or 2 down the road, 2 months, she tells you she's pregnant. Now, this is going to start an avalanche of excuses for you to send money. The first one is, so okay, she's going to tell you she's pregnant. She's either going to do 1 or 3 things, or probably all of them. So the first one, she's going to probably say the baby died, which is going to lead to you got to send money because she got medical expenses. Okay? And that could go on for a long time. So be careful of the baby die thing. So if she goes on with the pregnancy and the baby doesn't die, she's going to tell you that the child is yours. But at the same time, she's telling 2 or 3 other guys that the child is theirs. And here's what happens. Both men, or however many men, are walking around thinking that this child is theirs. And they're sending money to support this child. But what you have is she's using the child to get income from all the different guys. Only one guy's the real father. Maybe. because it could be from a Filipino guy. But she's looking at all the foreign men saying the child is theirs. They're being Captain Save-A-Ho and want to rescue her. So what do? They start sending money. And she may have multiple guys sending her money. So when you look at this, you got to look at the pattern. At any time during our conversation or getting to know each other, how often did she come up missing? How often has she been so busy? How often did her phone break or she didn't have any load? All of these are reasons to go off and do what you want to do. And when it's done, she resurfaces back to you. And you're supposed to be understanding because, oh, I didn't have no load. My phone is broke. So you got to understand. But she's been out doing her thing. And then 2 months later, now she's pregnant. She want to point the finger at you. So be careful with that, because that could take you down a rabbit hole that can go on for a long time. Okay. Now the next one is something that I think is very childish. And I hate to say it, but I'm not 4 years old. I'm not going to play that game. The next one here is what we call tampo. And it goes something like this. She's upset about something. You don't know why she's upset. So you're asking, what's wrong? Talk to me. What's the problem? And what she's doing, she's staring into outer space, ignoring everything you're saying. Because the guy is either codependent, a people pleaser, what he starts doing is begging. He starts fawning. He starts doing things to make her talk. And at the same time, when he does this, she's digging in. The more he reaches for her to talk and tell him what's wrong, she's digging in deeper to make him beg even more. And this kind of behavior is to basically get what she wants. Now, if you are a man that's not trying to be conned and tricked, you won't fall for that foolishness. Because guys, we are older, mature men, and we shouldn't be playing childish game with children and adult bodies. Okay? Children do that. Children go off and don't talk because they're angry. They're immature. And that's why they do it, because they don't know how to handle life. So why would you sit there and try to debate with a child? Okay, a child that's in an adult body is basically who you're dealing with, and try to make them talk. When I first started experiencing the tampo thing, it blew my mind. But I've learned, I walk away. You want to sit here angry? Be quiet, be silent. Well, you contact me when you feel like talking. In the meantime, I'm going to move around. And that's the bottom line. I'm not a child. I'm not 4 years old, and I'm not going to play those games. Okay? Because once you start playing that game and she learns that it works, then guess what happens? You're going to forever be chasing her moods. And it's going to drive you nuts until one day you just finally have enough and just crack and say, look, I'm out of here. So don't fall for the tampo stuff, guys. That's just insanity, okay? Now, last but not least, and this mostly has to do with the guys, stop asking what she is doing. Because I'm going to tell you what she's doing. She getting her needs met. When she ain't talked to you in a long time, and you start messaging her and she don't reply, and you start asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to tell you what she's doing. She's talking to other guys to get her needs met. Whether it's rent, food, tuition, all the excuses that they use, that's what she's doing. She's doing all that stuff to get that met, and that's why she haven't had time to talk to you. That's why she haven't even tried to contact you, because she's over to getting her needs met. So those are some things I want you guys to consider. Please keep in mind, you are an adult. You don't have to be treated like a child. You don't have to handle things in a childish way. And you should not handle things in a childish way if you are a mature man and you wanting something more concrete. You cannot have a stable situation with someone who's thinking like a child. Okay? So keep these in mind. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hope to see you in the next video, and keep in mind, join the social media group and send me your tips on Thailand so I'll know what to include, because I want to show you guys what you need to know. Thanks for joining, and I hope this helped. Take care.